despite what the woke activists want you to think, Dragon Age: The Veilguard has ultimately failed. We're approaching a week after launch, and the numbers definitely didn't peak where they needed to, and the sales definitely aren't where they need to be. Now, what is a success? Obviously, anybody with common sense knows that a game is a success if it brings in profit. That's a success. For some reason, the cope is real with these woke activists. They want to say, oh, but wait, hitting 80,000 concurrent players is good. Oh, but it got sold number 2 on the day of launch, which quite frankly, a AAA game should be at number 1 on day of launch, but just saying. But those don't matter. None of those numbers matter at all if you are taking a financial loss. I have this same argument, I'm bringing up Tomb Raider again. I have this same argument with Tomb Raider when I talk about, hey, the classics, they brought in massive profit. Hey, even the remasters brought in massive profit. But people want to say, look at the numbers. Look how much the reboot game sold. They didn't bring in profit. They broke even. That's it. And they struggled to do that. And that's why ultimately the franchise got sold off. And why Crystal Dynamics will eventually be out of a job and close down altogether if they can't make changes to bring in profit. Right now, the classic stuff is bringing in profit, and they don't even have anything to do with it. But I digress. I've got a ton of Tomb Raider videos if you want me to talk about Tomb Raider. But with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, it needed to bring in profit. It was in development hell for a while. People are estimating the cost into the game was at least $200 million, if not upwards $300 million. Now, this is a massive franchise with a huge fan base. And for the numbers that it definitely did peak at it's definitely not anything amazing for a AAA title, for sure. That's, more for a smaller studio. Hey, great. But for a AAA title, I mean, it was battling it out against Baldur's Gate 3, which has already been out for over a year, right? Battling it out against Stardew Valley, an indie game, Granted, Stardew Valley is a massive success. And mad props for that. But anyway, so we have Endymion here who talks about a source that he has who works in a retail space and showed him the pre-order numbers. So he says pre-orders got canceled for Dragon Age: The Veilguard in the last few days. This is from a major retail store with over 900 locations in America. Veilguard pre-orders versus cancellations by platform. So the deluxe Xbox versions, 695 pre-orders, 108 canceled. Normal Xbox copy, 885 pre-orders, 128 canceled. Deluxe PS5 versions, 1,872 pre-orders, 254 canceled. And, normal PS5 versions, 3,341 pre-orders with 466 copies canceled. So around a 14 to 15% of each version of Veilguard was canceled in the last few days by customers across these 900 stores within America alone. My guess is they saw the gameplay, they saw the cringe cutscenes, they saw this thing, they were like, no, thank you. So he's also told by another source that pre-orders in general were very low, way less than 500,000 copies, closer to 200,000 or less in total, which is definitely not the numbers that they needed to see. Do what you will with this info, but here you go. The source's store specifically only sold 3 copies of Veilguard since release. He also said, I should reiterate for anyone that these are physical pre-orders, but I'm told the total with physical and digital is it was nowhere near even 500,000 pre-orders before release. I'm telling you, they need to be selling in the millions in order for them to recoup the cost. They need to be selling in the millions at full price. So Grums here says, onwards, non-binary gamers, let's make that 15% even more for the next game. That's it. We even made the community made a non-binary flag for gamers who are not buying these woke games. We don't want to see the video game industry fail for the sake of it. We want to see the video game industry get back to its prior glory and actually make games that are fun and that aren't inserting these demonic ideologies and woke ideologies into them, as we've been seeing. I mean, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the lead developers identify as transgender. They are lost souls who are taking part in demonic gender ideology, and they are pushing that in their games and trying to indoctrinate players of the game into following suit, right? You even get rewarded in the game. You get extra dialogue options if you identify as transgender in the game, so on and so forth. Here we have a tweet from yesterday. Dragon Age Veilguard couldn't break 100,000 players on Steam in its debut weekend. Now it's down almost 30K. This was at the time of him writing this. It's a little bit more now, but this was from yesterday. These definitely are not good numbers. Now let's watch this.
Mother was hard on you.
Dude, this is degenerate. And this is the thing, is the people they're pandering to is a lot of people who are into this demonic ideology, this queer ideology, gay ideology, transgender ideology, people who are in that. This is who they're pandering to, because they like to play games where you just have relations with people, and especially, I don't know. They focus more on this kind of stuff and shipping characters and picturing what character is going to fornicate. They want to just fornicate in games, and they want to fornicate as weird and as gross as possible. Hence why even Baldur's Gate 3 with that bear scene, just perverted. So these are gross. I don't like games that even have options for this stuff. I think it's disgusting. You can have relationship systems in a game like Fire Emblem, or even something like Harvest Moon, that doesn't make things perverted, and I much prefer that. I'm not playing a game. I'm not going to play a fornicator simulator. I think that's disgusting. But anyway.
Sounds like your mother was hard on you. Nah. I think your fingers are just perfect.
Yeah. So... are you trying to have sex with me?
Hadn't really thought that far ahead, but maybe?
Quick, think about us having sex.
Look how gross. Ew. This she thing. Oh, I'm struggling to even play this right now. It's so disgusting.
So now we need to figure out.
Also, look at that. Look at that thing. It's bad enough to play a fornicator simulator, but that's what you want to fornicate with?
Out if it's cash lock or Tom lock.
And those are...
Cash lock's just flirting. You look and make jokes and maybe think about him for fun. Tom lock?
Why do they always do that with these butch, huge, big back lesbian type characters, and then they give them the most insufferable personalities?
It's serious.
And dialogue and the way of talking.
You want to grab that and taste its neck.
Just real snarky, like, yeah, real smug.
Right by the collarbone. So which is it?
Gross. It's just disgusting. It is disgusting, like queer fantasy. It's disgusting. It's so gross. Like, get that out of my face. Anyway, that is I think that's a good reason that we just saw why this game is failing. So regardless of what the activists want to tell you, or they want to pretend and live in their imaginary world that this is a success, it's not. The numbers aren't in right now. There's a reason why they aren't even going to be making DLC for this. I mean, we're talking EA. They want to put all their efforts into they want BioWare to put all their efforts into Mass Effect right now, the next Mass Effect, which don't have the most hope for that either. But seriously, can it be this bad? Hey, maybe they'll surprise us, but hopefully not. Anyway, there you have it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll catch you next time, and in the meantime, go boom.